Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Comic Book ASMR. And today we're going to be going over Carnage Born Again, Volume 1. And before we do, pretty big trigger warning for this. There's a lot of blood and gore and murder and sadistic, abusive situations depicted in this comic book. And if you're sensitive to that type of content, then please click away. I have plenty of other videos on my channel that, especially comic book videos, that are more viewer friendly. But like this says up here, this quote, "If you like your villain sick and sadistic, Carnage is for you." Now, I'm going to go over the first issue very briefly. And all I'm going to say is that Carnage has left Cletus Cassidy and is on a journey of self-discovery, if you will. He's becoming stronger and stronger, traveling the universe, trying to become a god. And as a symbiote, he no longer is weak to loud sounds or fire. He's conquered those. So he's very powerful. And I'm just going to just flip through these pages so you can see the illustrations. Trust me when I tell you, this is really not important to the rest of the plot. But Carnage, he's restless. He feels unfulfilled. There's a void he keeps trying to fill up, look at this. We see here in another Earth, this is Venom. And instead of Spider-Man, there is Kraven the Hunter, who is this world's Spider-Man. And you'll see here, he's even like kind of wearing the Spider-Man's colors and has a dead huge spider on his back. So that's creepy. And he's fighting Venom, but this world's Venom is actually Cletus Cassidy. And there you get a little glimpse of Cletus Cassidy in the Venom suit. So anyways, Carnage is going around through all this and he's quite bored. He doesn't care about this Cletus Cassidy. He doesn't care about this version of Venom. He doesn't care about this version of Spider-Man. Kraven the Hunter Spider, as he's called. He makes quick work of Venom. And I know it seems like I'm not covering anything at all, but all of this really has nothing to do with the main plot. So that's just why I'm skipping over it. It's very confusing too. It's not easy to explain. It's easier to understand when you're reading than it is to explain to someone else what the hell is actually going on here. Other than that, Carnage is just traveling from one part of the universe to the other in seek of godliness. Okay. We're almost getting to it. So he ends up at this place called, like, what's it called? The Hall of the All-Knowing. And this dude, the Lord Librarian, asks Carnage why he's there. Carnage doesn't really seem to know. He's just there to mess things up. And he's tearing through all these guards. And this librarian dude gets scared. He just tore a guy's head, split it straight in half. And he has his staff, this glowing light, is actually a black hole. So he sends Carnage through the black hole. And while Carnage is being zapped through the black hole, he cuts off the old man's arm. And off he goes, back to where he belongs, to his home, to Earth. And let's just say this is the main timeline, or whatever you want to call it. And he's back in the prison where it all started. Back in the prison where he first became Carnage. And there's a cellmate that he just instantly kills. And then Carnage decides he needs Cletus Cassidy. So he spits out a Cletus Cassidy. He gives birth to Cletus Cassidy. It says the blood and flesh are raw materials in his gut, cells and DNA, biomatter that can be reformed, transformed, spliced with the imprint of the man who was here decades ago. So basically, because he was with Cletus for so long, he has Cletus's personality and DNA and everything imprinted in him, and he can just barf a new one up. And that's what he does. So Cletus is reborn and one with Carnage again. And Carnage has been missing for about, I don't know, a decade. It's been a while. So every memory that Cletus has, this new Cletus, is what Carnage is giving him. And he says the memories seep into his mind, memories belonging to another Cletus of another time, trusting this other Carnage holds nothing back. And Carnage says, we were not ready then, we are ready now. And Cletus says, yes, I am ready. And then we see Flash Thompson, and he has difficulty speaking, but as soon as this happens, he wakes up, the symbiote alerts him, and he feels fear, but he's not sure why. But he says feeling anything is an improvement at this point. So he's living like a pretty dull life. And he checks his phone and he's late for work. Meanwhile, Cletus Cassidy is going around checking the phone as well. And he's catching up with the world and seeing what's going on. And he's reading about AI girlfriends and doom scrolling and crypto and just all these wonderful improvements that we've made as a species in the past decade or so. And he's delighted. And he calls the phone that he has. He calls a number on it and says hello. And a voice says, Billy, is that you? And he says, Billy is dead, sweetheart. So he's clearly killed someone, took their clothes, their phone. And he walks into a diner. And he has this inner monologue going on. And it says he's hungry, insatiable. In his hunger, Carnage finds the thing he has missed the most, the need. And so Carnage goes into this diner and orders some food and talks about, it's the human desires, he says. To live, to act, to mate, to kill. His purpose overtakes the symbiote. It is beyond the bond. Carnage and Cletus consume each other. They are one. And meanwhile, Flash Thompson goes to his job as a security guard. And Cletus is just sitting in the diner, has a conversation here with the waitress. He asks for some coffee. She says, sure. And she asks him what's he reading, sorry. And he says the Bible. And she apologizes, but he says, it's okay, they're just words. You're not a God-fearing woman then. And she says, not exactly. I always found that to be a curious expression, God-fearing. Why fear your absent and different God? Smells like daddy issues to me. Tell me, Sarah, what are you listening to? Because he overhears her. And she's listening to a crime mystery podcast. And she says, it's a podcast, true crime thing. Can you hear it? I'm so sorry about that. I'll turn it off. And he says, no, it's interesting. He says, why do you like to listen to it? And she says, I don't know. Fascinating, I suppose. Makes me feel prepared. Something about knowing what truly goes on out there. And it's the mystery of it, you know? The mystery, yes. The mystery is key, is it not? Thank you, Sarah. That he feels the weight of godliness on his shoulders, but he finds he is equal to it. As the hours pass, a plan forms. A doctrine. It feels right. This world feels ready for carnage. 2 weeks pass, and Flash Thompson and the anti-venom symbiote are still on alert, but they don't know what's coming yet, so all they can do is just live their day-to-day, help out people in the neighborhood, and do their job. And here we see Cletus has gone to a home here, and he says, John never left the war. If you were to ask him about his friends, he'd list the names of dead men. He's a coward. Couldn't end it all, but didn't have it in him to move on either. Hello, John. Get the hell out of my house. Killing is no longer a physical challenge, Cletus thinks to himself. But it still makes me feel like God on the first Monday morning. There's a relief in John's eyes as he dies. Maybe I am a merciful God after all. And so it begins. And Carnage just goes on a killing spree. One victim after the other. He says Thomas fights. Matthew cries. They die one by one. And no one cares. When Philip was 15, he took his father's AR-15 to the local gas station killed 4 people, including his ex-girlfriend, and injured 9. He intended to die in the process. He was going to sacrifice his life to prove that it mattered. Is someone there? Only to find that it didn't. Hello, Philip. Have you found God in here? Trying to. There were 3 other mass shootings that day. He didn't even make national news. Let us pray. And Carnage kills him and says he'll make the news now, but not quite yet. And so Flash is at a bar with this hot bartender, and he keeps looking at his phone, and he's realized that no one calls him or texts him unless he does it first. And he says it's something you can't unsee once you notice it. And he asks the bartender for another drink, but she says he's had enough. Meanwhile, he's not even drunk because the symbiote won't let him get drunk anymore. And a fight erupts in the bar. 2 idiots just going at it, and Flash intervenes. All while Cletus is making his way to his next victim, and he says Nathaniel Jones would usually present a challenge, but my other has been busy. It would take more than steel and armed men to keep me out these days. Hello, Nathaniel. And Nathaniel says, who the hell are you? You don't know me. Do not fear, for I am with you. What the? You know, we all think we're special. It's a staple of Western society. Only where you need to bear it, right? Thinking you're special, thinking you might make it. But you are special. Not because you are. If anything, all that wealth and fame and this is the best you can do. You are nothing but a missed opportunity in a $12,000 suit. No, you're not special. You are special because the world believes you are. And sometimes belief is all that matters. So Flash is, getting in the middle of this fight at the bar, splitting them up, and the bartender yells at him for no good reason, but that's what happens. I don't know why. She's upset that he did the right thing, I guess. She says that, you're lucky that guy is drunk. You better hope he doesn't press charges or some stuff like that. And meanwhile, in Times Square, there's this box that has a sheet around it, and it gets pulled off, and there's Nathaniel. And the crowd says, it's Nathaniel Jones, oh my God. And it says, one can say much about human indifference, but when presented with something they do not understand, they rarely think the worst. They do not see the horror in front of them for what it is. They wonder, what is he selling today? What publicity stunt the tech billionaire is up to this time? It is a painful death. In progress before anyone understands what they're looking at. It burns. The water turns into blood. The boiling liquid dissolves his skin. They do not understand that they are watching worship. Streamed and documented, scripture in the making. And Flash sees this on his phone. This Nathaniel guy. And he turns into anti-venom and makes his way. And it says, sorry, Flash knows what he's looking at. He understands. It's an announcement, an invitation. It's Carnage. It's Cletus Cassidy welcoming us to church. And that's going to have to do it for part 1. I was hoping to get through one more issue, but we'll have to leave that for the next video. I'm hoping I can make this a 2-parter. We're almost halfway through it. Things get really spicy. And when we're done with this, we will eventually move on to the 2nd volume. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest or a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next video. Part 2 to this should probably be coming Wednesday. I'm a bit busy tomorrow, but I think Wednesday we can make it happen. So I'll see you then. Take care.